Okay. Hi guys, I am feeling refreshed. I am back from my vacation. I enjoyed myself at the beach. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I needed to take a break. I needed some time to get back creative, get out of the rut that I was in. It's just your show. What you gonna do, mate? Just gonna walk all around. And sometimes you just need that because I found myself in a hole. I think I was burnt out. I guess I would experience burnout for the very first time. I had a huge meltdown. I didn't want to pursue my goal anymore on here. And yeah, it wasn't a good time. So I just took time for myself and I had a real realization of that hamster wheel. I think I really could see that hamster wheel. And something I wanted to talk about is kind of like, I wanted to talk about comparing yourself to others. I want to talk about analysis paralysis and kind of speak on like kind of today what's causing this little hamster wheel, like today's hamster wheel and involving the internet. And I think that when it comes to today, what caused me to burn out is trends. I feel like when things first started, it was really nice because trends was more like new and exciting. And I feel like it's now reached this peak because there's something to be gained by doing a trend or doing something outlandishly new and creative and doing it really well. And I feel like the bar now is just so high. I think the bar is really high. I think that it keeps moving. That's something that I'm seeing, that the bar is constantly moving. And I found that the more I was accomplishing my goal, you know, okay, let's give an example. Like if you're at an arcade, like Chuck E. Cheese, when you're at Chuck E. Cheese, you get your tokens or whatever, play the games or whatever. And usually at the end of it, you can only afford, to maximize, to get the candies or the little toys in the front of the thing. But you always aspire to have like the big teddy bear or the big toy at the end, and it's always an aspiration. But I think the great thing kind of about that is that it was kind of concrete. So like when you went there, you had that, you kind of knew that you wouldn't get that unless you spent exorbitant amounts of money, and then you could maybe get that. But I feel like now it's like today it's a teddy bear, tomorrow it's a car, the next day the teddy bear has different accessories, and it's like I feel like it keeps the big thing just keeps every day just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, meaning there's just new things to discover. So many things have already been discovered, so it's like you have the aspiration, the huge aspiration of just life in general. That bar, I think that bar just keeps moving. It's like it just keeps moving, and it's like I feel like we want to say that we're satisfied and I'm grateful and stuff, and I want to get to that because that's definitely a key that I want to get to. But the negative, I want to stick on the negatives right now. But like, you want to stay content in what you're doing and stay focused on what you're doing. But I think that what's going on in the world today is just like really distracting, and it distracted me for sure. Like it distracted me a whole lot. But yeah, I feel like the bar of life is just constantly getting higher and higher. And through that, I feel like it just kind of made me feel like I was losing balance. Just like, I think I was afraid, I'm always afraid to step out on faith. And you just have to like be okay with like not having answers. It's like the analysis paralysis of like you can seek all the answers and you just like I wanted answers for like where I was going and like how I'm going to do this and how I'm going to do that, and you know you type it up. And I feel like that's also another thing in this generation where we're at a time like you can literally whatever you think of, you can type it up and get an answer for it. But to me, I think that the answer really isn't in the answer. It really is in the doing. I know it's like very, very cliche, but I think I'm a person that constantly seeks answers. I really like information. I like looking up information. I love learning new things. But I think I love learning new things more than I do like I like learning new things, I think, more than I like doing new things. And I think that's a difference. And I think that's what causes the comparison to others. It's like you just want it, but you don't want to you don't want to do anything to get it. You don't want to do the things that or put in the effort that's required to get the thing. Or you want to analyze and it's like you kind of want to be busy, the illusion of putting in effort, but you're still not doing the thing. You're just really planning around doing the thing. You're prepping for doing the thing, but you're just not doing the thing. It's like, I've heard this, but I think you don't realize you're doing it until you go do the thing. Because I think nothing new is up under the sun, but the packaging is different. So by the packaging looking different, you don't recognize that you're doing that it is that same thing until like maybe somebody outside of you, your friend, points it out, like if you seek advice or if you just introspect, like you have a meltdown like I did and just have burnout and you realize that something isn't right, that you clearly something isn't going right. And yeah, I just realized that I needed to accept where I was and be okay with being me, and that the world's going to do what it's going to do. You can't change it. It's going to, the bar is constantly doing that. It's always doing that. But it's not until you insert yourself in the world that you can really see. It's like when you're a child, you don't recognize all the responsibilities that your parents have or your caregiver has until you become an adult. And then, you know, they always say you have that moment of it's like, oh, that's why they didn't want, oh, that's why, and everything makes sense. I think that's what's happening to me now. I'm just having all of these epiphany moments, and a lot of what I thought I was going to do, or a lot of the things that I thought this was going to be is not. And I'm just having to accept it. And you know, it's an eye opener. It's kind of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's like, it's that. And you know, I'm just saying that I've reached a point where it's like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not knowing. I'm okay with not knowing what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm okay with, you know, not reaching whatever I felt like I was going to reach tomorrow or like whatever. But I'm not okay with me not doing whatever it takes to get the big bear. I think that you just have to be honest with yourself to know what you want. Because you can kind of be like humble, like keep your goals humble. But just recognize what your true desire is. And it's like, my desire is to have the big bear. It's like, it's okay that you want to have the big bear. But I think it's like, once you recognize that you want the big bear, realize, why do I want the big bear? What would I want the big bear to do for me? And what does that symbolize for me? So like, put meaning to it so that when the new car comes out or the new invention comes out, you're like excited about it. And a perfect example of this is when I had the iPhone 4S, because when that came out, it was everything. This was like around the time where everybody was getting a new phone all the time. But when I got that, I had it for a long time. And I'm still a person, when I get a new phone, I don't get a new phone every year because I really appreciate the phone and everything that goes into it. And I think that's where I'm going into, of having that big goal. Like, you do have those mini goals, but just really get excited about the big goal. And even when all these like trends go on, like, find what you like and just like stick with it. If it is a new thing, if it's irritating you, for me, it's like, scrap it. It's like, okay, you just don't like that. You have to get out of the old negativity habit and build the new muscle of being positive. The positive muscle is something that has to be practiced, especially if you have practiced being negative. And I know this is all over the place, and I wanted to talk about comparison to others, analysis paralysis, but getting excited about the big bear and being grateful of the times that you're living in, because you can't live in any other time than what you are, and accepting the world for what it is. Even though the bar keeps moving, you got to know who you are, and you have to accept the things that are unfair to you. Yeah, and you just have to live your life. You just really have to live your life and just accept the things that you just don't know, yet you don't know yet, and you don't have all the answers to. You just kind of have to leave the pieces there. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. And be okay with not being perfect. Just like leave the pieces there. If you want to stay organized, have a junk drawer. Like in life, in your brain, like have a junk drawer in your brain of things that are just unsolved, and keep it organized that way. Have a junk drawer in your brain. And I feel like that's like the best answer. Have a junk drawer, be grateful. And yeah, be grateful for just life and where you are, and just acceptance. Just accept where you are. And that's where I am. I'm accepting where I am. And I know there's going to be new challenges. That's inevitable. But life keeps moving on. That's just life. So, yeah, that was my little TED Talk. That was my little chat for today. And yeah, I hope you guys gathered something from it. Love you guys, and we'll see you in my next chat. Bye.